tonight on a very special TV Tuners. Hi there, folks, and welcome to TV Tuners. It's a television podcast for the true fanatics. It's a weekly dive in the latest in TV news and reviews. I'm your host, Swanson. With me, as always, is my co-host and guy who's desperately trying to get in that suit of armor, that big old suit, Stairmaster.
Maybe if I, ow! I just snapped my...
Careful, buddy.
Oh, I lost a pinky. I pinched a pinky off.
Yeah, it's real tight in that suit. You gotta watch yourself. Yeah, you know what? I don't think you're cut out for this.
I guess you're right. I guess I'll just go wander off into the sand waste.
Yeah, I mean, that's your only option at this point. That or maybe sabotaging your best friend.
Maybe I'll go hang out by the Ferris wheel. That's still up for after 200 years.
Yeah, I mean, well, listen, some things are eternal.
Like our other co-host, Walton Goggins.
Our other co-host and eternal creature who subsists on dirt, Keelring.
I'm having a real fun time out here in the dirt.
You kind of sound like Duke Nukem.
Eat my piss.
Oh, that's very good. Swanson, can you do Big the Cat?
Say what?
Can you do Big the Cat? Since you can do Duke Nukem?
Oh. Wait, is that the same voice actor?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, they
Wow, you
changed
learn
it. They
something new every
recast it
day,
for
guys.
Frontiers. But he voiced Big in...
Oh, so Big the Cat has a different voice in Frontiers.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's why
I guess that...
he sounds like Ned Flanders in
Yeah, he does.
Frontiers.
Yeah, it was weird when Big the Cat said, Oakley dokley.
Woggy?
Now I want a character who just has an irrational hatred of Big the Cat.
I mean, yeah, you don't have the character, you have a friend right here.
Wouldn't that be funny if it was Shadow? It's that damn feline again.
Why is he so big?
He doesn't look anything like Blaze.
Keep him away from me.
Yeah.
Blaze, keep your dad away from me.
Oh, look, it's Black Sonic.
Yeah, that's great.
Hey, African American Sonic.
What guys should we be writers for whatever new Sonic show they make?
Yes. I know. Yes.
Clearly we should be. I feel like this is gold right here.
I see you've embraced an urban lifestyle.
Oh, no.
That's why you have a gun, right, Sonic?
I feel like the most black-coded Sonic characters are Knuckles, followed by E102 Gamma. But he's like the nerdy type of black guy.
Here's a great question, because I was too young maybe to understand. Was Knuckles black-coded before his music was rap?
Yeah, and the European and like the strategy guide they released in North America, he had a Jamaican accent.
He said Mon and everything.
Yeah. And he's always had dreadlocks, so
I guess that's true. Yeah. Knuckles is the original black coated. I love that I was so focused on the Knuckles part that I didn't interrogate the fact that you said the robot is black
well, he's a
coated.
different kind of black guy.
Yeah, I don't see any particular race in
E102 Gamma.
Also, he is a
He's
slave who had to.
Okay, I mean, listen, there's a lot of slaves that aren't.
Well, I
There's a
feel
lot of
like
types of slaves out there.
in particular maybe they might have got a little done dirty in the slavery department.
You're saying Robotnik is a southerner in the 1800s.
Yeah, he's Leonardo DiCaprio.
Well, I'm gonna push back
Yeah, you
on this.
should.
There was a bit more of like a father son type weird dynamic than.
Say that again.
Welcome to another exciting edition of TV Tuners. We're back. We've been away for a little bit. Took some time off, and I mean, listen, guys. I'll just come out and say it. The reason that we took time off, it's a little embarrassing, but I was lost in the Denver airport for 2 weeks.
And you were
Yeah, why were you at the airport?
I was going on a trip. That was the plan, anyway.
Okay,
why did
so
you call me when you were
you're
chased by skinwalkers? What was I supposed to do?
Help me.
By finding you in the...
Swanson, we're not going into the labyrinth. Like, we're not going to. It's just not happening.
Stair's been in there before. I figured
Yeah,
he
and
knew
it
his
doesn't
way
follow
around.
the normal laws of geometry.
Yeah, it didn't help. Luckily, there were a lot of good food court options, so I did spend the TV Tuner's credit card.
Yeah,
I probably maxed it out.
You wasted all of our money on all this water.
That's fine, Swanson. I mean, I know what it's like down there in the Denver airport, but I'm surprised you thought Stairmaster would go back there. He spent an entire week only saying never again, never again, never again last time he went there.
Yeah, and honestly, now that I've been out of there after 2 weeks, it seemed a little dramatic for him to be doing that.
Oh, wasn't that bad?
You weren't attacked
I mean,
by
the skinwalkers were bad.
But you didn't see any Langoliers?
No, 0 Langoliers, unless you count the security guard. Might have been one.
You didn't see any of the reverse men?
Couple reverse men, but they were cool.
They were cool.
Yeah, they were cool with me.
They're
I
everything
gave him a
that
smash
man
burger.
isn't.
We hung out. We chilled. I bought him smash burger.
I don't think those were real reverse men.
And he was all reverse. What do you mean? He was all turned around.
Swanson, I think you must have been like tripping or something. Did you take some medicine with you when you went down there?
Probably fell into a mirage after a couple days.
Well, I did take the thing I take for all of my trips. It helps with the flights. I took ayahuasca.
Okay.
It's like an extreme version of melatonin.
Imagine if you did take ayahuasca on a plane ride.
I think you would you would cause an incident.
You would get the air marshal involved.
Yeah, I think they would have to land the plane. It would be super quick too. It would be they'd be in the air for minutes.
You'd just be screaming that God is on the wing.
They would have to land the plane in prison, drop you off.
They'd land on top of that prison skyscraper they're building in New York.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they're building a 40-story prison skyscraper in New York City for some reason.
For what purpose?
To imprison people.
But why in the sky? Why in the sky? What's wrong with land?
Well, I mean,
they
it's
really
on
want
land.
to send They want to send a message to everybody who wants to do crime that tower is waiting for them.
Yeah, you don't want to go to Crime Tower.
I mean, London literally did it. Why not New York?
Yeah, I mean, I guess. But yeah, we're back again, guys. It's been so long, in fact, since we recorded that the episode we said we were going to do on the last episode of the pod, we're not doing, as you might have seen from the title. Two out of the three of us did watch The Gentleman, and we'll talk a little bit about it right now. But as you might guess, I'll just come out and say it. I mean, guys, I wasn't going to rewatch it because it was boring.
And I didn't watch it in the first place because I was too busy being a gentleman myself because of a family emergency.
Yes, you were the gentleman. Yeah, I watched it before my excursion to the Denver airport, and upon returning, I remembered I remembered two details, which I think are the same details that Keo maybe remembers about it, which is that there's a guy in a chicken suit.
Yeah.
And Giancarlo Esposito shows up at some point, and that's it.
Keo, do you remember anything?
Yeah, I remember everything. It was a great program,
Right,
and I'm really
let's get a
disappointed that
full
we're not
recap.
talking about it on the pod.
Let's get a full recap. Big scene, go.
Yeah, you said you did remember everything, so yeah, might as well. Just make it quick.
All right, so the show opens with our protagonist visiting his father on his deathbed as his health has declined.
Oh. Never mind, I don't want to hear this.
Oh yeah,
They briefly discuss the estate of the family. Apparently, there's a fair bit of money in the family, and our protagonist he's pretty happy to think about this because he's got some pretty severe debt that he has to pay off, and with some I forgot what country, but some foreign mafia type group who are not very nice. Yeah, so he's like, "Oh yeah, this is cool. I'm gonna get my money and pay it off." But it turns out, in this dramatic scene, that he's getting nothing. He's cut out of the will.
Wait,
his brother gets it instead.
That guy's not the protagonist, though, Keo.
He's not?
He's not the gentleman. The gentleman is his brother.
His brother doesn't do anything, though.
Yeah, that's why it's That's why I thought the show was boring.
His brother's just kind of there. He's just like,
So that's a tune out on the gentleman.
Yeah, it was pretty boring. It had a couple of scenes that were somewhat entertaining, but
yeah,
I didn't get invested in this.
It does end with a guy in a chicken suit shooting someone in the head with a shotgun, but you don't even get to see the shot to the head. So
yeah, I didn't understand why this guy was so intent on making this other man wear a chicken suit.
Yeah, because it's funny.
It was funny.
It was funny. It's so funny that they said it. They said the joke multiple times before they showed it to you.
Yeah, he said, "You're a chicken. You're chicken. Be a chicken. Hey, be a chicken."
His brother and the lady that he works with were like, "He wants to do what? He's gonna wear a chicken suit and say he's a cook." And she's like, "That's what he wants to do. And he's gonna do that. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen." And then it happened.
Yeah.
Anyway, tune out.
Yeah, it was a tune out for me too.
So, with all that out of the way, guys, if you're listening to the pod and you got a quip, a comment, question, foresight, otherwise, perhaps you have some thoughts on The Gentleman. Well, why not send it to our email address? We could read it aloud on the podcast. That's right. Send it over to tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com. What's that email address, Kieran?
So let me get this right, because last time I said the email, I said something that was incorrect, and we got a lot of interesting comments that were of very disturbing and sexual nature.
Oh,
to do with some kind of gooning concept.
interesting.
So I'm gonna avoid saying that. I think it's TV's tuners podcast at gmail.org or something.
That's right. You could be like Geo, who sent us this email. Fellows. Gentlemen, I got too bonged out for Titanic. What's the scariest movie you've seen recently? Regards, Geo. The scariest movie I've seen recently. So, I guess in this email, Geo is saying that Titanic was too scary.
Well, yeah, I mean...
Okay, I mean, being in a boat that's sinking is pretty scary.
Yeah, that's fair.
Especially if you're, like, on weed and the movie seems more real than movies usually seem.
I hate when the movie seems more real, yeah.
like it's some real train coming at this camera type.
I don't watch a whole lot of horror movies. Although I did watch Knock at the Cabin a couple months ago. I guess that's not recently. That was kind of scary in parts.
I had to take my dad to the hospital. That was scary.
It's true. That's sort of the actual scariest movie of his life.
I can't believe you let me do that.
Yeah, I think that's a movie.
Yeah, my life a movie.
Yeah, his life be like that. Kia, what's the scariest thing that's happened to you since movies are out of the question?
Yeah, since they're forbidden in your life.
I was going to say that the most recent scariest movie I watched was like Thief or something because...
Not End of Evangelion?
Oh, I guess that's...
Ooh.
That's a movie? Okay, that's the scariest movie I saw recently is...
Stay tuned on that. I think I'm actually agreeing with Keo. I think I'm agreeing though. The End of Evangelion is the scariest movie I've watched recently.
There's the mortifying ordeal of being known by others.
Yeah,
that is pretty scary. I don't want people looking at me.
Also, the whole third impact scene is probably scary if you watch it in like a dark room.
Yeah. Got some pretty unpleasant imagery, honestly.
I remember when I was doing weed, I was like, oh, I'm going to finally rewatch End of Eva. And then I kept putting it off, and then I got CHS, so I couldn't watch it high.
That's scary, too. It's sort of its own...
That's
you got a lot of scary moments that happen in your life.
Oh, come on. I have an easy life.
Oh, at least he admits it.
This has all been a test. You've passed. It's like the game. You passed the game.
It's like surviving the game.
Thank you for the question, Geo. All right. These are the three responses that Google has to Geo's question. I think they're all great because, one, they don't answer the question, but also they seem sort of condescending in their own way. The first one.
Okay.
Ha-ha.
That is a good first start.
Next one. Good question.
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps my favorite.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
What?
It's like you did not understand the question.
Well, I think I'm partial to a good question. I want to keep things positive in these trying times for the world.
You like saying good question and then just
not responding to anything else.
Yeah, it's sort of like answering a text from your dad.
Good question. Interesting.
It's like your dad texts you and says, "What do you want for dinner?" And your response is like, "Yeah."
No, he says you like, here's some celebrities AI shopped over Star Wars Jedi. What if Walter White was a Jedi? And you're like, oh, okay.
Good question. All right, so I'm going to send.
What if Walter White was a Jedi?
I think some of these guys were Sith Lords in the video. I don't know. I didn't click on it.
I'm going to send good question to Geo. Yeah, Walter White would probably be a Sith, right? He would think he was a Jedi. Or he would like originally try to join the Jedi Order, and they would kick him out, and he'd make a big fuss about it. Apparently, I'm not good enough for the Jedi Order.
Well, he would definitely not make it as a Sith apprentice. He'd just be one of those random dark side users.
Yeah. Email address dvtunerspodcast@gmail.com. that brings me to another important question on the show here. What'd you guys watch? Anything exciting? Something you want to talk about?
No.
No watch.
No.
So I finished the latest season of Invincible.
I also finished the latest season of Invincible.
Ooh, I need to get caught.
Okay, why didn't you talk about it?
I forgot.
What?
Yeah, fair.
Forgot you
it was
watched
weird
it.
of them to
Yeah.
split the season.
Yes!
It was a very weird idea.
It completely ruined the momentum.
Yeah. I hope they don't do that with The Boys when that comes out this year. But what were your thoughts? I have not finished it.
They
That was pretty
completely
good.
ruined the momentum.
Like, was
I
it
think
detrimental
would've
to the
felt
show?
better. Yeah, I think it would have felt better if they hadn't split the season.
Why are you talking like that?
I don't know. Should I go back to being Big the Cat?
Yeah, I think
Are you
so.
being like a Redditor or something right now?
No. Redditors would be like, oh, this is so unrealistic. Why didn't Invincible become invincible? Is he stupid?
A Redditor would be like, Omni-Man could totally body any Marvel superhero.
He would lose to, like, Spider-Man.
Yeah, like, easily. I feel like him and Homelander combined would lose to Spider-Man. Because they would, at a certain point, they would just start fighting each other.
Yeah, he would start doing quips, and they wouldn't be able to handle it.
Yeah, Homelander would get pissed off the moment Spider-Man started, like, calling him out. So was it good compared to season 1?
No. Well, compared
Expand on
to
that,
season
Sam.
1, it's not like as strong as a climax.
Yeah, I guess it would be kind of hard.
Yeah,
to do that.
I would. Yeah, the season kind of doesn't really end on too much of a climax, honestly.
Yeah, sort of like season 2 of Breaking Bad.
It's a to be continued.
Yeah.
Pretty much, they're like, yeah, this is we got some stuff going on, but you're gonna have to wait till next season to find out what happens.
Yeah, like 3 years from now.
And Omni-Man's like, I miss my wife, Tails. I'm going away.
I wonder.
I'll be back.
I wonder. I don't know officially if this is the reason, but I wonder if that's why they split this up to give them more lead time to actually animate the next season. Since it took them so long to do in between season 1 and 2.
No, I just think they're dumb. And to just think
I mean,
about
it's very
the production
possible.
timing.
No, they seem to have problems producing this program. I'm pretty sure that's why they split the season.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, like the other half wasn't done?
Yeah, I don't think it was all done, and they just didn't air it all at once. I think
Like, they did
were
not
legitimate.
No, they didn't realize how long it takes to animate stuff.
It's wild, too,
Yeah.
because it's not like the animation style is, like, heavily involved. I mean, it
They're,
is,
like,
in the sense
doing-
that
they're,
all
like,
animation
drawing,
is.
They're like animating on the 3s.
Yeah. So is that a tune in or what?
It's a tune in.
You sound so defeated, Stare.
I'm tired of television.
Ooh,
Oh,
is this
are
a
we
new
getting, like,
Walton
is this-
Goggins-esque character you're doing?
Is this the beginning of Dark Stairmaster?
Baby.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a tune in for me. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
That's a tune in for me.
All right. One thing, I'm going to talk about 2 things. One thing I finished more recently, and one thing I finished a while ago but didn't get to talk about. At least not on this podcast. So I'll start with the thing from a while ago. I watched Dune 2.
Is it Kino or is it mid?
It's Kino. It's so Kino. We're so back.
So divisive. People either love it or hate it.
Yeah, I guess that's interesting. I've seen some strong opinions in the hate column. I think it's pretty much all around better than the first one. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it for me. This is the because it's all the good shit right here. It's good.
It's crazy.
It's a good movie.
It's crazy that Dune 2 is happening in real life right now with your men in America.
In a way, you're not wrong. Yeah, it's a good movie. Everybody kicks ass in this. There's a moment where a person gets shot with a rocket launcher point blank.
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah.
Wow. Is this a Mobile Suit Gundam reference?
No, not quite, because the person's just sort of a random bad guy. It's not anybody important. Also,
I know.
oh wait, have you seen this movie, Stan?
No.
Okay. Christopher Walken is in this movie as the Emperor, and it's great. Getting to hear Christopher Walken say "Muad'Dib" is chef's kiss. No notes.
What did he say?
He said Muad'Dib, which is
what does that mean?
Which is the name of one of the many names of Paul Atreides, the main character. You see, he's like a messiah figure to these people who live on the planet, the natives of the planet.
Oh, okay.
But it's important to stress, Keo, that this is not a white savior type of deal here. He's very much not a savior at the end of this movie.
He does become Space Hitler.
Yeah, spoilers for Dune 2. He kind of causes a genocide at the end.
So he kind of sucks.
Yeah, he leans into his Messiah presence and causes essentially a genocide.
As part of a scheme to free humanity from the chains of precognition by creating the person immune to farsight.
Yeah. Although I don't think they get into that until the next one.
And then Frank Herbert comes in as like, actually, there's an evil computer responsible for everything.
And then he's like, what if one of them was a big worm? Anyway, great movie. Tune in. Highly recommend.
Yeah, the Dune guy is going to make a movie based off a nuclear war scenario, which I did read last week. It's kind of mid, the book.
Would it make a good movie?
I mean, it would be very pretty to see the nuclear bombs going off, but I don't think there's anything in the book that's really worthwhile in terms of like speculative nuclear war fiction. Yeah. The premise is very paper thin. It's just like, what if North Korea nuked America for no reason?
Oh, that's scary though. What if that happened? I'm scared.
And then Russia misconstrues the American retaliation as a first strike on them and launches their strike.
See, that's really scary. What if that happens, Dare? That would be really bad. I think that would be really bad.
I would be like, ooh, that's no good.
Yeah, I would be upset.
Yeah, but it's written by a New York Times writer who gets a lot of basic stuff wrong. And there's some very obvious scaremongering. Like there's a segment, in the timeline, like 20 minutes before the missiles that will wipe out all life in the Northern Hemisphere go off.
Yes, the whole premise does sound like scaremongering in the first place. At least the way you framed it, that it's like, what if bad people did a bad thing for no reason? Like, oh.
There's a better book written by the arms control blog guy. I forgot what his name was. Daniel Lewis. The 2020 Commission report where Donald Trump accidentally starts a war with North Korea by flying reconnaissance planes too close to them. And then North Korea accidentally shoots down a civilian airliner, and things just escalate from there.
No, I like it better when the premise is, what if the guys we don't like do something bad, and the other guys who don't understand the situation and make it worse.
Yeah, that's the premise of the famous song 99 Red Luftballons.
And also, we did nothing wrong. That's the most important part of the situation.
So if you're basing your book off of a premise of a song, I think that's already like a song. If the song already did it, I don't think you should need to make a book about it. Anyway, the other thing I watched was Feud, particularly Feud Season 2, subtitle Capote versus the Swans. This was a show that existed that I watched.
What's this about?
So it's about the Feud is a series that takes a look at various feuds from Hollywood and usually has an A-list cast. It's a Ryan Murphy product, so it's hit or miss. This season, miss.
I have no idea who that is.
Ryan Murphy's the guy who did American Horror Story. He does
What is The Shield?
Yeah. No, that's a different Murphy. You're thinking of Sean Murphy, maybe?
I don't care anymore.
Yeah, come on, Stair. You get your Murphy straight.
That's what I'm going to say whenever I'm corrected on anything.
That's what you always... That's what you do that already.
Oh, well, I'm going to keep doing it. I'm locked in.
But this season focuses on famed writer Truman Capote getting into a tiff with his friends in high society after he releases a thinly veiled story about their exploits. Particularly about an incident in which one of their husbands is having an affair with a lady who menstruates all over their bed.
You hate to see it.
Good for him. Good for him.
So he gets iced out of this society stuff, and it follows the ensuing years after that, what happens with everybody involved. A couple problems with the structure of the show for me personally. There's a lot. It's a stacked cast. They got some real good people playing these characters here. The guy who plays Capote is really good in particular. But none of these characters are likable. Like, even Truman Capote is drunk the majority of the time that he's on screen. And is, belligerent to other people around him.
Yeah, this is one of my least favorite things that happen with writing is they make every character suck, so I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard for me to feel invested in... I feel like the charm of a feud is that you have to pick a side, and, I don't want either side of this to win.
I feel like prestige television is, in the state of cargo culting what was already cargo culted. As is a grotesque... And that's why it's such a grotesque, unfun experience, usually.
Yeah,
I think... shows we watch.
The show is also 8 episodes long, and I feel like it's not enough material. Because really all that happens is he writes the story, the ladies kick him out of high society, a decade later he drinks himself to death. That's the story. That's it. And by episode 2, he's already been kicked out of high society. So what, the next 6 episodes, I'm just supposed to watch a guy slowly spiral?
Yes.
And yeah, that's pretty much what happens. The show jumps around a lot with chronology too, in ways that don't always make sense. It's a bit confusing at times, and there are definitely a couple episodes here and there that were what's the point of this? There's an episode in the middle where it takes place back in the 60s, where he has this ball, and it's set in a documentary style. But it's set in a documentary style that wouldn't have been around at the time. It's set like The Office, but no one was filming documentaries like that in the 60s.
How clumsy.
The final episode of the show, I think this is a little, I guess, spoilers if you haven't watched this show and you were looking forward to it. Although, double spoilers, tune out. The penultimate episode of the show ends with Capote dying. And then the last episode is just him envisioning envisioning like righting all of the wrongs with his friends, and then it just ends with his ashes being auctioned off, which I guess happened in real life apparently.
Oh,
That's messed up. But also, it doesn't sound like a very compelling
like the
story.
TV ending of Neon Genesis Evangelion, then followed by End of Evangelion.
Sort
If you
of.
think about it.
Yeah, sort of. Not as experimental, I don't think. More grating. But yeah, it's a tune out on Truman on Capote versus the Swans.
Tuned out. Tuned out.
And that's it for me, guys. Which means that's it for the segment.
That's it for TV tuners.
That's it for Trailer Blazers.
That's it.
Let's get to the news.
Coming.
I got some news. Listen, guys, I said it before we started recording. The news is hitting this week. It's coming hard.
What happened?
News is coming at you. So I'm going to start with the
Fallout is about to happen. IRL.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm sort of focusing away from that.
Oh, okay.
Who cares about that?
I'm going to start with my favorite story first, which is that Sylvester Stallone is apparently in trouble for bad behavior, quote unquote, on the set of Tulsa King.
He was naughty, like a naughty little boy.
He was a naughty little guy. Yes, Sylvester Stallone, the star of Paramount Plus's Tulsa King, former episode, is apparently in trouble after he has created, quote unquote, a clear toxic environment for the extras on set.
What did he have done?
Well, what's he doing to these poor extras?
This comes after Atlanta-based firm CL Casting left the series due to Stallone and an unnamed director's disrespectful treatment of the actors they had hired. Apparently, a couple artists had stepped forward to explain what had happened to them, and a lot of it is Stallone referring to various extras as, like, ugly. So these are three comments that were left, and I think it's a great... the rule of threes in comedy is that, you have to escalate each one. I think this is a great example of the rule of threes here. So you got ugly, okay? I mean, it's pretty bad, just in general, to call someone. Tub of lard. All right, come on. What is this? He's talking like he's a bully in an 80s movie. And now the best one. Fat guy with cane.
What's going on with Stallone? He's been surrounded by extras before. Why is he so belligerent all of a sudden?
I guess apparently he wanted the extras to like look a certain way, and he was like, "This was just a fat guy with a cane. What are you guys doing?"
Well, why can't we have some sex? Why can't we just have me surrounded by some babes?
The actors also alleged that Stallone asked production to bring in pretty girls to be around him.
Maybe I'm the Muad'Dib.
And if you could bring in a table and they could like squat on it for me, that'd be great too.
This sounds wildly inappropriate, fellas.
Yeah, I think so. The CL Casting announced their departure from Tulsa King with a snide comment that said, "We send well wishes to whoever takes over." Which, yeah, I mean, fair, I guess. Of course, as you might expect, executive producer and director of Tulsa King, Craig Zisk, has denied many of these claims. According to him, Stallone never made any of these comments. The actual issue, he said, is that the firm was supposed to hire 25 to 35-year-old actors to populate a quote-unquote hip young bar. But the extras she brought in were older. Whatever that could mean. Then
Too old.
Which is weird because Stallone, the accusations against Stallone are not that he's saying like, "Oh, they're too old." He's just commenting on their bodies. A fat guy has a cane. What are you guys doing? You want me to go to a bar with a fat guy with a cane? Come on.
You think he's like losing it or something? That sounds like some like mental decline behavior for somebody who's been in the business that long.
Well, Stallone. How old is
you're
Stallone
saying
now?
like
He's in his
movies
70s.
corrupt you?
No, I'm saying like he's got brain problems.
Stallone. Yeah, I mean, Stallone might be sundowning, but I don't think. I think he's just being an asshole in this case.
But the thing is, if he's being an asshole, why is he only being an asshole now? Like,
No, I'm sure he has been an asshole before numerous times. This is just
but
like,
it was just Hollywood movies were far more permissive of being a mean guy.
or it was a quicker production, so he could just get away with it. He wasn't just like going around. Or maybe now that he's older, he's just directly saying this shit to people's faces instead of just
Wow.
later in his trailer.
Instead of just writing it in his diary.
Yeah.
Like he's lost its filter.
Yeah, I mean, that happens when you get older, right? They say that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm
That's
getting at.
terrifying.
Yeah, Stare. Imagine you walk into the TV Tuners building and you point at me and you're like, Trouble Lord. That'd be a hard day for all of us. Regardless,
I'd be so devastated.
regardless, season 2 of Tulsa King is still in production and will be premiering shortly. I'm sure. Fat guy with cane not included.
Oh, they kicked him out.
Yeah, I'm assuming he's
'cause
not
it's-
going to be there.
There's gonna be a lawsuit, and they're gonna have to make him a lead.
Oh man, Tulsa King, and it's just Sylvester Stallone on a poster with a fat guy and with a cane. And you're just like, what's the deal with this guy?
Swanson, you can't say that.
Well, I mean,
We'll get in
we don't
trouble
know the guy's
legally.
name. I would say his name if it was announced.
Yeah, you put this fat man with a cane
No, I'm
on
saying
blast.
it. We're gonna get sued. And he's gonna be the host.
Oh no! Hi, welcome to TV Tuners. I'm your host, Fat Guy with a Cane.
He just goes by that name.
If only we had known.
Speaking of things that were in production and no longer are, or perhaps another term of phrase, were dead and instead of coming back just stayed dead. The Jon Snow spinoff is dead.
No,
When
wait,
you
those are
told
Jon
me-
Snow
when you told us
spinoff?
about that, Swanson.
Yeah,
You-
I thought we had discussed this before, but it might have
No,
just
but you were-
flown away from you guys.
You were just like, so our second news story is the Game of Thrones sequel show, and I was just like,
Yeah.
and then you were like, has been canceled.
And then you were like hooting and hollering.
You know what Jon Snow said about this show?
What?
No.
Don't want it.
Yeah, that's good, Keo. Keo was
Thank
really
you.
working hard on his Jon Snow impression.
Yeah, hearing this has been canceled. Hearing that the show existed but has been canceled makes me feel like the Palestinians feel today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't expand on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the news comes directly from the man himself, Kit Harington, who played Jon Snow, saying that the series had been in development, but after a certain point, they figured out that they couldn't find an angle that worked for everybody. Which, like, wow. Who would have guessed, considering that all of the interesting things that could happen in that universe sort of just did already, and they weren't that interesting when they happened? Like, what's Jon Snow gonna do in the North that is interesting? all the zombies are dead.
What if he goes even further north?
He's going further north.
I don't think
than anyone's ever
Jon
gone before.
Snow could. I don't think he could do anything interesting, no matter what. At this point,
Yeah,
I
true.
don't think.
I mean, when you think about it, the most interesting thing he did the whole series was have sex with someone he was actually related to.
Oof.
I was more interested when he had sex with the redheaded lady, if we're being honest.
But that was just because of the redheaded lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough, Stairmaster.
Also,
You're not wrong.
me saying that includes the part where he died and came back to life. That was less interesting than.
If you want to see that, just watch. Oh, I was gonna say Last Temptation of Christ, but don't watch that.
Don't watch that.
Yeah, they very well. Yeah, because the movie ends with him on the cross.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you think about it, Jon Snow is a Jesus figure.
He's sort of like
He is?
Paul Atreides.
Yeah. I guess in a way. Jon Snow has the voice. Anyway, yeah, the show's dead, but that doesn't mean that there's not other Game of Thrones product coming your way. Of course, House of Dragon is strong, and I think the new season's coming out sometime next month. And they're doing another they're doing another show based off the books, the Hedge Knight books. So that'll be something, I guess.
Hedge Knight.
But the important thing is that these two series I just mentioned are prequels. So for now, the future of Game of Thrones remains a mystery.
The Hedge Knight is a series of short stories George R.R. Martin wrote about a guy, a couple, like a century before the main Game of Thrones books, who's just going off on his own little adventures.
Just palling around doing his
And they're
things.
very good because, they have endings and stuff.
Yeah. One of the underrated things about stories, like one of the underrated cool things about them is endings.
You like it when a story is over?
I like when a story has like a point where it's like, that's it. And they're like, maybe there's more story, but you don't need to know about it right now.
So true. So true.
But yeah, for now, we don't need to know about Game of Thrones.
And will we ever?
I don't know. I feel like it's almost a matter of time before they're like, yeah, we're doing a sequel series. They just got to find the right idea that like makes everyone
The
happy.
Grand Tour.
And I'm sure there is like an idea that could make a future Game of Thrones thing cool, I guess, but I don't know what it could be.
So they turned Jon Snow into like a kid.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And he has to go into space.
And he's fighting he has to fight dragons.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that sounds good to me.
They still try to put in some like politics scenes, but they don't work anymore.
Yeah. Like every now and again they'll cut to like Bran and like all the like council having like meetings. But hey, speaking of something that was dead that is coming back, Heroes.
I'm picturing though that they have these politics scenes and like Varys is alive for some reason. They don't explain why.
Yeah, Varys is there. Is like making snide comments. Everyone's just like, yeah, that's right.
Okay, what were you saying about? You said Heroes.
Yeah, Heroes is
I thought
coming
you
back.
said-
Heroes is coming back for another run. What is dead may never die.
What's Heroes?
Well, Keo, Heroes was a show that was big back in the year of our Lord 2006. That was a show that was like, what if superheroes were on your TV before like they were everywhere?
It's a couple guys finding out they got superpowers because the eclipse happened.
Yeah.
And there's a myth arc.
Well, there's an eclipse in this.
Yeah,
Ooh.
there's a serial killer who gets other people's superpowers by cutting their skulls off
Yeah, that
and
was
looking
cool.
at their brains. Because he's good at because he was a prodigy watchmaker.
Yeah. The original series
I don't-
ran from 2006 to 2010, but probably by around 2007 it had already run out of juice.
Yeah.
It's got like one. Heroes has got like one all right season, and then it's just there's nothing after that. Like everything else is just like, hey, what if this happened? And you're like, what?
And
What
the
if we
first
had
season doesn't even
Yeah.
the first season doesn't even hold up on rewatch once all the myth arc stuff is revealed.
Probably not. Well,
yeah,
I
like
distinctly,
literally everything.
yeah.
Literally every scene is you going, huh? What's that?
Well, I do distinctly remember like they keep building up Sylar, who is that aforementioned guy who kills superheroes and takes their powers. They keep building him up, and then like they're gonna have the showdown with him, and then like everybody takes like turns fighting him 1-on-1 instead of just all
Yeah.
beating him up at once.
Well, they kind of are dunking on him at the end. It's not really a fair fight.
Yeah, he should have had some friends. But yeah, Heroes. Here's the thing, Kyo, about this. This isn't even the first time that Heroes has gotten a reboot. That's right. In 2015, NBC attempted a revival called Heroes Reborn, which was a sequel.
Oh, did it work?
No, they were not reborn. It lasted for a season.
Wow. Pathetic.
So now I think, honestly, the reason this is coming back is because there was just an eclipse.
No, you have to be kidding me.
I'm not saying that's the reason. I'm like, that's not been confirmed. I'm just saying, like, I think that's been they're like, hey, you know what show we have that's about an eclipse?
Shouldn't they have premiered it on the day of the eclipse, though?
I mean, yeah, they should have
If that-
already been
if that was
making
the
it,
case.
right? They shouldn't have just thought about it after the eclipse.
Oh, you think that they got inspired by the eclipse happening on the day of, and they're like, wow, we should bring back Heroes.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Maybe.
thinking. Is like they were like the guy, the original creator, is sticking around for this, so I feel like he called up and was like, "Hey guys, that eclipse got me thinking. Want to give Heroes another shot?" And apparently NBC does. So the Heroes Reborn again is officially underway. Apparently there is a new title, by the way, for this that's already been revealed. Are you guys ready? Heroes, Eclipsed.
Oh my god.
Eclipsed?
I don't know if that...
Not eclipsed, but eclipsed.
Eclipsed. Yes, as if like they've been overshadowed by villains.
I mean, is there a TV show that is eclipsed Heroes?
The boys?
Most.
I don't think The Boys does the same thing Heroes did.
Yeah, but it's like
Good.
it's like the new big
Yeah, it's got superheroes and it's good.
It doesn't really have any superheroes, does it?
I mean, there are shows that have done myth arcs that are better than Heroes. I'm assuming. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but Tracker.
I'm sure they're out there somewhere.
Tracker, yes.
We love them, folks.
Can't get enough Tracker.
People are saying, "Where's Tracker?" We should get him to track Biden.
Where's Seeker? Where's Hunter?
We need Tracker to find out where Hunter is, folks.
Can't find him. A lot of people are looking for him, and no one knows where he is.
Frankly, a lot of people are looking for this guy, and I think I know one person who can find him. His name's Tracker.
Great guy, Tracker. He finds you. He looks, opens his eyes and looks, finds you.
He's looking around. Bing, bang, bong. Anyway, yeah. Heroes, Eclipsed, coming soon? Anyway, that's it for the news, which means that there's only one thing left for us to do this week, guys.
Go home?
Well, we are home. We record at the house.
I mean, I don't want to be in Denver.
I want to go soon.
Like, I don't belong in Denver, Colorado. It's like,
oh yeah, where do you belong?
It's not my.
You've been here for like 3 years at this point.
Yeah, I've been deteriorating physically and mentally.
Yeah, so is everyone else in the world. Get over it.
Oh, I think the crab is thriving.
Oh,
he's a native.
Yeah, he's used to the altitude.
Oh, okay? Is he like a lake crab?
He comes from the salty lakes that are around Denver, Colorado.
Okay.
Anyway, we watched a show, and now we're going to talk about it. Fallout is the TV adaptation of the popular video game series that depicts the aftermath of a great war that caused a apocalyptic nuclear fallout that...
Oh, we said the word.
I said it. That destroyed much of civilization above ground. Survivors took refuge in fallout bunkers known as vaults. And more than 200 years later, this program follows a young woman named Lucy who leaves behind her home in Vault 33 to venture out into the dangerously unforgiving wasteland of Los Angeles to look for her father. Along the way, she meets a Brotherhood of Steel squire and a ghoul bounty hunter, each with their own mysterious past and agendas to settle.
You say that, but that didn't happen in the episode.
No, I'm assuming it'll happen eventually, since it's in this copy.
It seems like it should have happened in the first episode, do you think?
No.
I mean, didn't need to.
Maybe. I don't know.
We have to have 3 point of view characters.
Did Fallout leave you to settle your days in a bunker, or did it let you thrive as a weird little guy with scars all over your face?
Really,
First
why do
off,
we need three point of view characters? Can you explain this to me?
Actually, first off, why doesn't it start with a guy saying war? War never changes.
Yeah, we needed that. We needed that.
Important.
We needed.
That's
I don't want to set the world on fire. We needed that.
We needed a lot of things.
We need Vault Boy. Where's Vault Boy? Is that his actual name?
I think that is his name.
Yeah, we needed him. We didn't get him. What we do get in this is Walton Goggins. Not enough, but some. I feel like, at least TV-wise, Walton Goggins has successfully taken the role of, like, we need a weird guy. Can we get a weird guy? Who's a weird guy we can get?
But he's not playing a weird guy in this, at least at the start.
Well, okay. Thank you for clarifying, because at the end of this, he's a weird guy. And I'm assuming that's what he's going to be for most of this.
Is he a weird guy in Justified?
I mean, Boyd is kind of weird.
But I don't know, but it's Kentucky.
Yeah, I guess maybe for Kentucky, he's just a normal dude. I guess in The Shield, he's not a weird guy. Yeah, I don't know. Walton Goggins is here, and So, the Fallout universe is like the future but the past, right? That's the whole deal with, like, before the nuclear apocalypse.
The Fallout universe is them just throwing a bunch of genres together for fun.
Because the year is 2077, but things are, like if the 50s never stopped happening.
Well, I think the lore is that there was like pushed by the government to have 50s nostalgia to try and paper over all the cracks that were forming in the system leading up to the nuclear war. If you read any of the logs, there's all like labor strikes, plagues, and oil shortages, and also the war with China
Oh, no good.
and the years leading up.
That's no bueno,
Yeah.
if you ask me.
Sort of like America today.
We're at war with China?
Well, we do have a plague. That we're just trying not to think about it.
Don't think about it too hard. Too hard. So yeah, we get introduced to our guy here. He's like a rodeo guy. He's doing tricks with his daughter.
They imply that he got blacklisted from movies.
Oh yeah, because they call him Pinko. Yeah, he does his whole deal, and then him and his daughter are talking, and he's like, well, nuclear bombs are gonna be bigger than your thumb, and it's gonna be then you run. If it's bigger than your thumb, you don't run because you're already dead. And then a nuclear bomb goes off, and he's like, all right, let's run.
Also, nobody notices until he points it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Because
quiet.
everyone else is watching TV.
Dang, an indictment of society.
The environmental storytelling in the TV broadcast is so blatant that the newscaster's like, what's the point of even doing this?
There is one shot in this sequence that I like, which is when you see the blast reflected in the window as Walton Goggins' face is just sort of looking out. That's cool. Then they just show you the blast afterwards, so it kind of defeats the point of the subtlety in the first shot, but
it doesn't look as good as Terminator 2.
Well, yeah, no one's turning into a skeleton immediately. I think that's the one moment in Terminator 2 that gave me nightmares for the rest of my life.
Good, it's a teachable moment.
Teachable for who? I'm not in control of any nuclear weapons.
This is Todd Swanson not to fire any nukes or bad things are going to happen.
And you know what? Yeah, that's right. I don't plan on firing any nukes. Then we get the title card. Hey, Fallout time, baby. It's Fallout. Agent Dale Cooper is here as the leader of this vault.
Yeah, and this is where the show immediately goes off a cliff. In quality.
Yeah, I don't care for the vault stuff. I'm a bit more. I was a bit more interested in the Brotherhood of Steel, just because I think they're interesting as a group.
It feels like the writing here. It feels like these characters were lifted from oblivion with the way they act.
Interesting. I was thinking that the vault shenanigans felt like Twisted Metal.
Yes, it feels like
in
Twisted
terms of
Metal.
Tone.
Yes.
But yeah,
because Fallout does have jokes, but it also is kind of serious.
Yeah, I mean, there is a good runner here about how, because it's been 200 plus years later, everyone is essentially the cousin of everyone else in the vault.
Yeah.
So they talk about how, oh yeah, well, fooling around with your cousin is teenager stuff. Eventually you've got to get married to someone outside of the vault.
They're connected to another vault. They don't really explain how. I guess there's a tunnel.
Yeah, I think there's vault trading that goes on. That's how all these groups thrive or whatever.
No, all the vaults are separate except for these two. In the canon.
Oh, interesting.
Because each vault is a different social experiment.
That's right, yeah.
There's one vault where there's only one man and everyone else is female, and one vault where there's only one female.
Yikes.
Everyone else is a man. And there was one vault where it's one man and a bunch of puppets.
Why would...
You want to see what happens when a man's alone with a bunch of puppets.
We should have...
Got to learn.
This is what we should be focusing on the show. This is what the show should be doing. I got the list
open.
Yeah.
How would you be acting if you were surrounded by puppets?
I don't know. If the world had ended and I was surrounded by puppets, I don't know. Because that's a different environment than if I'm just surrounded by puppets now.
The world has ended and you're in a underground with a bunch of puppets. What do you do?
I'd probably start hanging out with them, talking to them.
She make a puppet show?
Yeah, probably.
There was a vote where they had to vote people off the island, like vote them to be executed, because they were told they would all die if they didn't. And it ended with a civil war killing everyone.
How? Huh, that's interesting. I guess they just decided after a certain point, no one thought, like, how do we know those people are the people who were going to kill us? They're still alive.
Oh, there's a vote where all disputes were supposed to be resolved through games of chance.
Yeah, see, I mean,
And then a
vote.
guy came in and won the vote through a game of blackjack and turned it into a hotel.
That's sick.
yeah, I need this lore is cooler than pretty much anything that happens in this episode.
Well, that's from New Vegas, which was Obsidian, which was like a descendant of the original studio that made Fallout. Well, this show is basically a Bethesda joint where they don't know anything about good world building.
yeah.
Also, I got spoiled, and it turns out like the end of this season, they like decanonize New Vegas, which makes me sad.
No good.
Like they say, like they show Las Vegas, and it's not there. It's like New Vegas is not real.
Whoever
Well,
told
they're
you
gonna
about
go to
Vegas?
New Vegas in the next season, like the last shot. But also, they show the capital, the new California Republic, getting nuked, and this takes place like 2 years before the NCR invades Nevada.
So the
which is kind of
timeline
a
is
plot
messed
point.
up, is what you're saying.
Yeah, because New Vegas is about the conflict over Nevada between the NCR, the locals, and Caesar's Legion.
So yeah, eventually, the people from Vault 32 come in, or what we think are the people from Vault 32. And our one of our main characters here, Lucy, gets her marriage going. She asks, all the important questions. What's your name? What's your sperm count? They have sex. It's a wild time.
Why did they do this? Why did they do the nude man clothed woman thing?
Because she's wearing a wedding dress. It's, I don't know, funny.
There's
I think
like
they're
some
cowards.
ideology going on here.
Expand on that.
Sexual ideology.
They're saying he wants to see boobs.
Yes! Oh, there was a vault where there was just constant white noise being broadcast.
Oh, that I would kill myself.
Yeah, they killed each other.
Yeah, so they it turns out, of course, these are not members of Vault 32. These are raiders. They're here to kill these people, take their stuff. So a fight breaks out.
Yeah, man, we get some NPC behavior. We see some vault dwellers still bringing like party trays over while people are being killed and shot.
It's like, what's going on here?
They got the Radiant AI.
But yeah, there's a decent fight scene between husband and wife here. It's a blender. It's like a shattered blender handle, right? She like slices his face with, and she runs out. There a lot of slow-mo in this sequence. Perhaps too much, I would say.
They had to pad the runtime to hit an hour.
They did. They hit it. Let me tell you that much. This was an hour and 15. Like, if you take out the slow-mo, you probably got an hour. Because this sequence drags with all this slow-mo. Because you got, like, do I need a slow-mo sequence of Dale Cooper drowning someone in pickle water?
No.
But hey, we get
idea.
painstaking shots of this guy drowning in in a bunch of pickles. Why?
They really, really want you to understand that he is gonna die from that.
So yeah, they don't take care of all of the raiders, but they get a sort of advantage for like 2 seconds before the leader of the raiders is like, all right, we're taking your dad. Oh, by the way, I know some mom lore. Don't you want to know about your mom? And the lady's like, huh? And she leaves with her dad. Kind of a wet dud of an explosion. Why did they set off this explosion? I guess so you couldn't follow them. That was it.
They were
That's the only
doing
reason.
Sophie's Choice.
Yeah, but no one died from the explosion. Everyone ran away.
They didn't do a good one.
But yeah, so the cut to the surface, and we get to see the Mr. Fallout outfits. Because this was the cover of Fallout 3, you see. It's the Brotherhood of Steel. They're in their metal suits, walking around.
Well,
Sort of the
like
original
two
mechs.
Like 5... No.
Yeah, there's no mechs in Fallout world. These are the original mechs.
Oh, okay. Well,
So this is where they do this thing that I don't know. I've never liked it where they jump point of views in the first episode.
Yeah,
some other guy.
I don't. It's weird. I know that it's like essentially padding because they're like we could tell 3 separate stories and split it up into so many episodes, but I think it's handled here in a way that I didn't like hate. Thought it was all right.
I think you should be more angry. I think you need to harden your heart.
Yeah, Yes, Swanson. Like, why were you okay with this?
I don't know. I think maybe I was just more okay with this because the Brotherhood of Steel stuff was the most interesting stuff for me until, Walden Goggins shows up at the end.
Yeah, anyway, the Brotherhood of Steel are like some guys who worship the technology and think that the normies shouldn't be given access to it.
Yeah, they really should have done more with that aspect instead of me watching the sad boy.
No, they're the cool guys in Todd Howard's vision of Fallout.
Yeah, they are cool. I mean, of course they're cool. Look at their fucking suits. They are cool, but also extremely problematic because they're like technology fascists.
I would have been much more invested in this program if they just stuck to one narrative and let me follow it, because everything is a little bit underbaked, honestly.
Yeah, I want to know what the Don Pedro's up to. Show me what the cartels are doing in the Fallout world.
Yeah, why do the cartels need this ghoul?
Well, they're torturing him by keeping him buried alive.
Well, yeah, why?
Because he wronged them.
How? Show me that.
That would be nice to know. That would be interesting.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean.
Yeah, so they don't really explore too much of any of these characters, honestly, and it feels at the same time padded and rushed for me, which is not a good feeling.
You're not wrong, because I feel like maybe the 3 perspectives does do a disservice to the world building, which is an important part of any show, but especially this one. Also, you don't want to emulate the games when you're adapting a TV show, but you should have some callbacks. And what better callback than having this lady leave the vault and then discover the world?
Right. So that's one thing that really gets undercut here, is that your relation with this character who has lived in a vault is just undercut by spending half an hour outside the vault before she gets to leave.
Yeah. How much better would the Brotherhood of Steel stuff be if your first sign of seeing them is just them in a full suit of armor coming out and battling some monster?
Yeah, we don't even see any weird fucked up mutant wildlife in this episode either.
Yeah, true. And then, like, if you really want to tell the story about Maximus, who's this guy that we're following, you can just go back and do it after he's been introduced. Same with, like, how much better would Walton Goggins' appearance be? Which I feel like it's a highlight of the episode for me, which we'll get to at the end. But how much better would it be is if he just shows up, like she just encounters this guy, who we know is 200 plus years old.
More exciting than just kind of saying, "Oh, there's this guy. Let's see what he's up to. Here he is."
You guys are look. This is always what happens. You know, I come in with a slightly positive attitude, and you guys make me more negative about the show that we watch.
Well, yeah, we're tuning you.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
You're getting tuned.
I don't know if I like getting tuned.
Well, you shouldn't have made the podcast then.
Is this a new thing on the pod where we're like, yeah, you guess what? You're getting
What do you
tuned
mean?
right now, brother.
No, we've been doing it for 197 episodes, Swanson.
You've been getting tuned your whole life. Yeah.
Yeah, Swanson, you've been thoroughly tuned already. It's not gonna slow down. It's not
You
gonna
think that's
stop.
TV you're watching? So yeah, this guy's getting his ass kicked by a bunch of guys in the Brotherhood of Steel. He says it later, or he says he doesn't want to be later, but this guy's weak as hell. This dude's weak.
He wants to be the guy, but he's not the guy.
I had a guy, but you're not the guy.
They had a guy, but then someone put a razor blade in his or her boot.
Their
boot.
Yeah, and it is kind of weird how they don't clarify whether or not he did it, right? Like, they keep, even after he confesses, which should be the moment where you're like, oh, okay, he didn't do it, they still keep playing with, like, did he do it? So basically, his friend gets picked to be anointed, which is when you get to, it's not even when you get the armor, right? It's just you follow the dude with the armor around.
Yeah, is he a POV character or not? Like, what's
He
up
is,
with
because
that?
he gets the big...
You get a title card.
Yeah, he gets a big
Okay,
title
that's what I'm
card.
saying though. It's like you can't have a POV character and then just like say, "Oh, did he do this or not?" I don't know.
Yeah, like, why am I questioning whether or not this POV character is a POS?
Why is the POV character from the Brotherhood of Steel anyways? They're weird recluses who stick it to their monasteries.
Well, get this there. They look cool.
Yeah, but our other viewpoint character is a lady who's stuck underground most of her life. So all you got is Walton Goggins, who's the only guy who actually knows about the setting, who could relay information to them.
True, and it
And
seems as if he's going to be an
by proxy,
antagonist.
the audience.
He's
Yes.
going to be like a antagonist turned, like, he's a Vegeta figure where he's going to probably team up with them at the end.
Yeah, but who's going to do the exposition for the world building? In the
Probably Walton
meantime?
Goggins. Listen, I haven't watched the other episodes of the show, but I have heard that, like, we keep going back to Goggins in the past.
Why?
Well, yeah, the past. But the past isn't that important.
I don't know. It turns
It's
out
like,
for
it's sort of
some
like
for
it's
some
like
reason it
seasoning,
has
I
something to
guess.
do with the story. Apparently,
the thing about Fallout is it's supposed to be about what you do, what they're building, what comes after. You know, building a new society.
no. We got to focus
Of
on
course,
what
Fallout-
happened before the apocalypse. It's a show that's post-apocalyptic, but also pre-apocalyptic.
Yeah, that's my problem with the Bethesda Fallout games. Is that they act like nothing, that like time froze to 200 years after the war.
Yeah, I mean the show does that too. I think a little bit. Yeah.
Yes. Like the Ferris wheel.
Yeah. But yeah, they Maximus's friend tells him that they're getting anointed and that it's like a big deal. And Maximus seems like a little perturbed about it. Not a little, he starts breaking shit. And then the next scene, this his friend gets like a razor blade in their boot and can't do the job anymore. And like, yeah, the law of TV essentially states that like, oh yeah, Maximus did that. Like, you show me him being mad, and then you show me him witnessing his friend cut their leg with a razor
and he's
blade.
not really shocked.
And he's not shocked. He's just sort of like, huh. Yeah, my opinion is that he did it. Until proven otherwise. Which, like, that's the thing. Like, you had a moment where you made me doubt that he did it, where he has this conversation with this, I don't know, this priest or whatever this dude is.
The friar.
And it's a good scene. I think it's a nice scene where he's being sort of interrogated, but also, like, he somehow proves himself in this conversation.
Well, why is it a mystery? I still don't understand why.
Yeah, like, you had an out if you didn't want him to be the guy, but why is it a mystery? Are we going to keep going back to this? He seems like he's going off on an adventure.
They gotta find the guy. They gotta
They're
find the
searching
guy
for
from
the guy.
Disco Elysium. He's ran off with his dog.
Oh yeah, they're searching for this guy who has something important.
They got like an ASCII printout of him on a sheet of paper.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice touch.
Also, the set design for the Brotherhood of Steel stuff sucks because they're just in some prefab housing, which you think would have fallen apart and had to be replaced at some point, but now.
Maybe they fixed it up.
What? Yeah, but it doesn't look like you would see that. Like, there would be like some Frankensteining going on since they don't have the tech.
Yeah, you'd see like, sheet metal roughly bolted down to plug a wall or something.
That'd be interesting. I mean, you do see a little bit of that when they're playing basketball with rocks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no. They just like live in. They just have like a regular old cafeteria where they hang out.
Basketball with rocks, less interesting or more interesting than basketball? I'm gonna go with less.
I think I like the ball to bounce.
Yes.
Yeah, I like to see the ball bounce, and I like to see it go in the hoop. And frankly, I don't think if LeBron James were playing with rocks, he would be as good.
Shouldn't the Brotherhood of Steel be like in a bunker or something? Because that's like usually where all the advanced tech that survived the nuclear war would be found.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Sarah, quit asking world building questions.
Yeah, this show's clearly not interested in world building at this stage.
What do they? They're this isolated community, but you don't see any like farms or gardens.
They have food, okay?
Okay, all right.
They got food. What is this, 20 questions, Stare? What am I, the show creator? Why are you asking me all these questions? I
don't think about this. I just want to see like the CGI suits.
The suits aren't CGI; they're real.
Yeah,
they are.
They are.
I know, that's the thing.
Suits.
They had them walk out at a live event to promote the show.
They look so fake.
I know.
The practical effects. Yeah.
How do they make them look fake if they're practical effects?
They did it. Because they did it. I don't know what you want me to tell you, Kiko.
You'd need an actual. I think you'd need like a VFX guy to explain it.
It's like they
if you're
put
a
filters
VFX
over
guy,
it?
email us at tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to have you on.
Yeah, true. So yeah, they go off on their journey in search of this guy. Meanwhile, our vault dweller, life is returning to semi-normal in the vault, I guess.
Yeah, her brother Tobey Maguire is back.
You said this guy looks like Tobey Maguire, and I was like,
he does.
I guess
he does,
like
and
a
he
little
sounds
bit.
like him.
If you don't
he definitely has his voice.
If you don't look at his like face,
he looks like Tobey Maguire, like in 2002.
Sure. Yeah, I've got a little bit.
Nate's definitely got the eyes. His nose is bigger.
You're saying this guy could be Spider-Man?
No.
So eventually she's like, hey, listen, I'm gonna get out of here. And they're like, no one leaves. No one's leaving, actually. Sorry about your dad, but no one's leaving. She's like, yeah, no, I'm leaving.
Nah.
And she does.
And then we cut to Elston Limehouse. And
Yeah.
his posse going out to a grave.
Yeah, this is the scene. This is the scene of the episode for me. It's great.
I can't believe they got him to play this guy who dies after one scene.
Yeah, it's kind of a waste. They should just, I mean, unless he comes back for some reason, not dead. Maybe he'll be like, maybe they'll show up in like a flashback.
Yeah, it's Keo. This actor played a recurring character on Justified who was like the criminal leader of a black parish in Kentucky.
Well, that's crazy.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
cooler in that show than he is here because he doesn't get immediately killed.
He had time to talk about barbecue wisdom. About how the
You lose
best
a lot
way
of
to cut a
coolness
pig
when you
open.
just get got right away.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of the least cool things you can do.
But yeah, they're here to seek help from the Ghoul, as he's referred to, who is not
Walton
no
Goggins.
one who is Walton Goggins, he is playing the same guy from the prologue that we witnessed. So he's alive 200 plus years later. They don't really say how. Ghouls aren't like supposed to live that long, right?
No, some of them do,
Oh, all right.
and a lot of them go, and some of them go insane. That's why they talk about feral ghouls.
All right. Okay. I wasn't
Yeah,
sure
they
if
say a
ghouls were
feral
supposed to live
ghoul-
that long.
Feral Ghoul will just go for the chicken right away.
It's true, yeah. And what we know is this guy in a feral ghoul, he doesn't eat that chicken at all. He plays around with it, like he uses the chicken to like sort of bait them into to like lower their guard a little bit, which is fun. But yeah, Walton Goggins is immediately stealing the show here. Like it's just not even close. Like he's just a weird little guy. Come out here, I love dirt. He's essentially like, what if Beetlejuice was a cowboy?
He gets a little bit of a Boyd Crowder moment. Where he chides not Limehouse for saying it's one last job. And
Oh yeah, no one ever has
implying that
one
he
last
doesn't have
job
a,
and
he's
means
not
it.
committed to it.
Yeah,
And then he talks about how he's doing it for the love of the game.
yeah, that's cool. This guy's
That's
cool.
where he kills the people with
This guy should be the
lassos.
main character.
Yeah.
Listen, the showrunners, I'm begging you. It's all right to have a show where the main character is just like a mysterious dude.
I mean, that sort of was justified.
Yeah, just like a dude who's like a kind of a weird little guy. Make more shows that are actually the main character is a weird little guy. Now, keep in mind, Walton Goggins is not little in this show. He's seemingly regular height. Maybe
I guess
tall.
the Vault Lady's a weird little guy, female.
Yeah, I guess she is a weird little lady.
And Maximus?
He's a weird little guy.
He's just a guy. He's kind of beige.
Yeah. But yeah, Goggins steals the scene here. He dispatches these guys pretty quickly, and he's on his way. And that's the episode.
Its runtime is like 8 minutes out of an hour episode, and they're the best. They like totally mog the rest of it,
Yeah,
which is a problem.
yeah, very true.
And also, this set looks fake. The graveyard.
Definitely looks like a soundstage. Yeah. But that is the episode.
And then we revealed that it was actually filmed in an actual graveyard. It just somehow made it look bad.
Yeah, it was. They were filming at like a real graveyard, and then just somehow they made the lighting like it was dark too, and like foggy, and they just made it look worse somehow.
Yeah.
So yeah, Shogun is better in every way.
Yeah, although I
We should
don't
watch
know.
more Shogun.
I don't know.
Most relevant comparison I can think of in terms of TV shows.
Because you were thinking of like a show that is on the air and it's good.
It's a costume drama.
Yeah,
They're both costume dramas set in
I
a
guess.
far-off world.
Yeah, one is the far off world of Japan in the 1600s, and this one is
America in the 2300s.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, what are our final thoughts on this show?
It's better than Twisted Metal.
Yes, I would say that. I would damn it with that faint praise.
And that is really not saying a whole lot.
I don't know why they had to set this in California. They could have. There's a whole last country they could have put this in.
Well, come
That
on.
wouldn't
Is
have
it going
any sort of-
Do you want them to traverse Montana?
They could do Texas.
Yeah, okay, that'd be cool. Yeah. You got me there. Yeah, this is I was coming into this a bit more positive, but then the more we talked about it, I got less positive. So now I don't know what I think about what I ultimately think about this show. It was too long by half for the amount of plot that was given to me. There is some interesting stuff in here, although it seems like I might be the lone figure in thinking that some of this stuff's interesting. I think I'll give it a light tune in.
Oh, bold. Are you ready to meet God?
Sarah, what's your decision on this one?
It's a tune out. My dad's probably going to watch it, though. He was excited for it.
So that's a tune out from Sarah, but a tune in from Sarah's dad.
A preemptive tune in. Speculative tune in.
Yeah, speculative dad tune in, so not an official.
So we have two tune ins, one tune out.
Well, okay, Stairs' dad is not a member of the pod.
Yeah, unless you want to have him on, which I won't allow.
Right. There's no fourth host, and it's certainly not Stairs' dad.
Well, we let guests tune in. I mean...
He's not a guest.
Yeah, he never will be.
Are you your father's keeper?
Yeah, it's like a cat's in the cradle situation, except not.
I was going to say, except for that he's there at all times.
Sort of like the happy ending to the cat in the cradle.
I think I'm going to tune out on this one. I just... I can't imagine myself enjoying the rest of this program.
All right, well, that is a tune out on Fallout. Fallout, more like tune out.
I mean, they had such an easy layout just following the lady as she got out of the vault.
Fair, yeah.
You could even keep the cold open with Walton Goggins and just move the Brotherhood of Steel stuff to the second episode.
True, you could even... Yeah, that's true. You could just not even have... You could just follow her for the first episode and then have... Maybe Walton Goggins shows up as the ghoul at the end to, like, antagonize her. And then you cut to the guy in the second episode. Yeah, that would work.
And then you could have, like, you could have, fuck, I can't remember his name.
Maximus?
No.
Oh, Kyle MacLachlan, Dale Cooper? The dad?
No.
Okay, then I don't know who you mean.
It's not worth it anymore, but I was going to say you could have Timothy Oliphant as the sheriff of Fallout Land.
Yeah, there you
hunting
go.
Down Walton Goggins.
Yeah. Well, that's all. That's all it for Fallout. And listen, it's time for us to fall out of the podcast and leave for the week.
True.
But what are we doing next week, guys? What are we watching next week? Why, is that an old friend I spy? That's right. Giancarlo Esposito's in the distance, and we're gonna watch him on a show called Parish, where he's a guy looking for revenge.
He's about to go back to the old him.
Yeah, Yeah, he's going back to the old him. That's true. Yeah. So until next week, when we're watching him get violent, keep watching. Bye.
Bye.
It's all.
Hey folks, time for the TV Tuners Denver Fact of the Week. Did you know that Stairmaster actually does have the nuclear codes and has contemplated using them 8 times?
The source of all war